Maybe if you worked as hard as you made excuses, we wouldn't be stuck in this place. That's what she said. She was standing in the kitchen, holding a glass of white wine at 11 a.m. in a robe. I was sitting at the table, still in my old boots and the same $15 jacket I'd worn for 3 years. Didn't look up. Didn't need to. She'd been ramping up like this for weeks. She'd married me thinking I was a rising star, said I was ambitious back then. That was before I stepped down from the startup I co-founded and told her I was burned out. I left out the part where I sold my shares for 7 figures. Left out the 2 shell companies I built quietly after. Left out the fact that I own the warehouse I work security at now and the software they use to clock in. I was testing her, and she was failing. Beautifully. I just think it's pathetic, she continued. You're okay making $20 an hour while the rest of the world builds something? I sipped my coffee. It's honest work. It's a waste of potential. What do you know about potential? She scoffed and left the room. I watched her go, her phone lighting up with a message as she disappeared down the hall. Didn't catch the full preview, but I saw the heart emoji. Later that night, she told me she was going out with the girls. Said she'd be late. Said not to wait up. Wore perfume I hadn't smelled in months. Lipstick. Hair done. Matching lingerie peeking out when she reached for her bag. I kissed her on the cheek before she left. Have fun. She smiled. That fake kind, the one that says you'll never know. But I already knew. I'd known for 3 weeks. Ever since she left her iPad open on the kitchen counter, and I watched a message pop up from Kayla that started with, "He doesn't suspect a thing." Only it wasn't from Kayla. I clicked it. It was a message thread with a guy named Travis. Gym rat. 28. Big on alpha grindset posts and motivational quotes. He wasn't her friend. He was the one she'd been meeting after yoga. I read enough to stop wondering. Times. Places. Details. Once at our house. Once in his car. Once while I was working security. I didn't say anything. I just made a note of it. Copied everything. Screenshotted the texts. Logged her phone's location history. Then I went to work. Not at the warehouse, but at my real office, in the corner suite of a building she thinks is owned by some tech guy from Austin. That tech guy? Is me. My assistant brought me coffee. I reviewed 3 NDAs and signed off on a 6-figure wire transfer before lunch. Then I logged into the back end of the software she was about to apply through, a position she thought would finally get her out of this house. She didn't know the company she was trying to escape to belonged to the man she already betrayed. She stopped pretending by Thursday. The fake smiles were gone. The "how was your day?" turned into long sighs and glances at her phone. She'd started calling me man-child in arguments. Too comfortable. Afraid of taking risks. All code for, "You don't impress me anymore." That night, we sat across from each other eating pasta I cooked. She barely touched it. Kept checking her phone, biting her nail, texting under the table like I wouldn't notice. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Work stuff." She didn't have a job. Hasn't in months. She used to ask about my day. Now she asked why we hadn't gone on vacation. Why I still hadn't fixed the broken garage light. Why I hadn't gotten a real raise. She thought I didn't see the signs. The extra gym sessions. The lipstick she reapplied right before grocery runs. The receipts she left in the trash. 2 drinks, 1 appetizer, and a dinner entree that sure as hell wasn't solo dining. But I wasn't angry. I was patient. The next time she went out, I followed her. Didn't tail the car. Too obvious. I watched her location ping from the iPad again. Downtown. Hotel bar. Travis was already there, standing outside like a walking red flag. Tight shirt, protein shake in one hand, car keys in the other like some budget James Bond. They kissed before she even stepped into the lobby. She didn't even check her surroundings. She thought she was safe. I took a photo. Then another, of them walking in together, her hand in his back pocket like she owned it. That image stayed in my phone, not to cry over, but to weaponize. The next morning, she kissed me on the forehead before leaving for spin class. Left wearing the same shoes I saw her in the night before. No shame, no fear. When she was gone, I opened my laptop. Logged into the HR panel of the company she'd applied to the week prior. Her resume was sitting there. Fake title. Inflated experience. Little lies stacked like bricks. I marked her file. Reviewed, unsuitable. then added a note for the hiring manager. Candidate flagged for internal fraud review. Blocked from future interviews. They wouldn't question it. The entire system was built by my dev team. She had no idea. Still thought she was playing chess with a man too tired to make a move. I waited until she was gone, said she had errands, which I now knew meant parking lot makeout sessions and hotel day rates. Once she pulled out of the driveway, I sat down at her laptop. She wasn't smart enough to sign out of iCloud, and I wasn't dumb enough to ignore the sync. Everything she sent on her phone? It was there. Unedited. Unfiltered. The first thing I did was screen record the message thread with Travis. All of it. She'd renamed him Kayla again. But the way he typed, the mirror selfies, the gym talk, the photo of her in a towel in our bathroom? No room for misinterpretation. One thread caught my eye. Travis, so when are you gonna leave him? Her. Soon. He's getting harder to deal with. I can't fake it much longer. Then another. Her. Once I get the job at Ardent, I'm done. That place is my exit. Ardent was my company. And the only reason she was even close to being considered was because I personally told the recruiter to make her feel like a front runner. I kept digging. Pulled her calendar. Found 3 more meetups with Travis this week. One, brunch with Emily, that was actually a downtown suite reservation. The receipt showed she'd used my credit card. I called my lawyer. Time to push the button. Divorce papers? Ready to file. I want them served on the same day she thinks she's getting hired. That's dark. It's overdue. That night, she came home humming. Happy. Flushed cheeks, fresh blowout, smiling at her phone. She dropped her purse by the couch and opened the fridge. I could really use a glass of wine. Rough day at errands? Oh, traffic. Did you go anywhere near the Marriott? She froze. Turned around slowly. What? Just wondering. I thought I saw you there. I was at Whole Foods. Right. With room service. She didn't answer. I set my phone on the counter. Pressed play. The screen lit up with the video, her in the hallway mirror, holding the room key, Travis behind her fixing his hair. She lunged. I pulled the phone back and stepped around her. Try again. She took a breath, shifted gears. I was going to tell you. It happened. You've been distant. You work too much. You're never excited. Excited. About life. About us. I needed something real. So you picked a guy who sells supplements from his car? You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly. You thought I was done. That I was a failure. You lied about your job. I never told you what I did. You assumed. I just never corrected you. That's still lying. You're lecturing me about truth? I handed her a folder. Inside, the divorce petition, a bank statement showing her charges to my business account, and a non-disclosure agreement. You'll sign this. You'll leave. And you won't get a penny. You're serious? Dead. You can't do this. You already did. She left that night. Tried to spin it online. Said we mutually decided to separate. I posted a single photo the next day, a screenshot of her calendar marked brunch with Emily, overlaid with a hotel receipt for a 2-person suite. No caption. Didn't need one. She was out of the house, but not out of my system. Not yet. I had a job to finish. The first thing I did was meet with HR. Closed door. No small talk. Pull her file. Danielle Reeves. Yep. I want her application flagged. And I want you to run a soft reference check. Have it come from an external recruiter. I want to know what she says. My head of HR, Karen, mid-50s, sharper than steel, didn't ask questions. She nodded, pulled up the file, and got to work. Next stop, legal. We reviewed every point of the prenup. She'd never read it. Signed it fast when we married, back when I was still chasing the dream. Back when she thought she'd be entitled to half once I made it. Only I already had. The clauses were brutal, airtight, bulletproof. Infidelity voided all claims. Malicious spending nullified all equity access. She wouldn't just walk away with nothing. She'd walk away owing restitution if she contested. You want to go scorched earth? My lawyer asked. No, I said. I want her to watch the empire grow from the outside. The next morning, I arrived at the office early. Had the team moved my desk from the corner office to the middle of the floor? No fanfare. I wanted everyone to see me. No doors, no filter. Transparency, top down. It was symbolic. For the team, and for the woman who once mocked me for not being ambitious enough. At noon, Karen buzzed me. You're gonna want to hear this. She put the call on speaker. Hi. Yes. I'm calling to follow up on an application for Danielle Reeves. She's applying for a business coordinator role. Just hoping to verify her previous experience at, Altura Consulting? Karen muted the call. She put down fake consulting experience. Perfect. Transfer the call to me. She did. Hi, this is Mr. Reeves, CEO of Ardent Systems. Silence. I'm assuming she didn't mention that this company is mine. No, sir. She said she had an interview lined up. Cancel it. She's disqualified. Click. By 3 p.m., the recruiter sent her the rejection email. After careful consideration, we will not be moving forward with your application. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. She texted me less than 10 minutes later. You sabotaged me? You applied to my company. You're unbelievable. So's the NDA you violated when you used internal data on your resume. Good luck with that. She tried to twist it. Posted vague Instagram stories. When you try to escape toxicity and the abuser blocks your success. Comments were off. 2 people DM me screenshots. One of them was a former friend of hers. She's been playing victim since day one. Glad you caught her. That night, I opened a bottle of bourbon, sat at my desk, and reviewed our latest financials. Revenue up 19%. 2 new partnerships inked. Staff bonuses scheduled. Her name was nowhere. Not on a line item. Not in a file. Not in a single login. She didn't just lose access to my life. She lost access to what I built without her. And now, she'd be watching it from the bleachers. It started small, a single resume on my desk flagged by Karen. You're gonna want to see this one. Name, Jade Monroe. 28, former startup operator. MBA. No fluff, no ego. Just real work experience, and 3 recommendation letters that didn't read like scripts. The twist? She was the assistant Danny used to talk down to at networking mixers. Called her just a notepad girl. Told me once, don't bring her around again. It makes me look like I'm dating the intern. Jade had left quietly after Danny embarrassed her at an event. She never complained. Just worked harder. Now she was back, and ready to build. I called her in for an interview. She walked in like she owned her worth. Didn't posture. Didn't sell herself like a pitch deck. She just talked about systems, strategy, and building loyalty in teams. At the end, she looked me dead in the eye. I want the role. Not because of your ex. Because I'd run circles around her. I hired her on the spot. In 2 weeks, she'd already done more than Danny had in 2 years. Refactored our ops board. Cleaned up vendor relations. Identified a hole in one of our back-end service contracts that saved us $48,000. The team loved her. The board loved her. And the kicker? She didn't want spotlight. She wanted impact. Danny found out quick. A mutual friend, her word, not mine, forwarded her a LinkedIn update. Excited to announce my new role at Ardent Systems. Working directly under leadership to scale innovation and culture. No hashtags. No selfies. Just precision. 2 days later, Danny called me. Blocked number. I answered. So you hired her? I hired the best candidate. You think this is funny? No. I think this is business. You're disgusting. No. I'm disciplined. You should try it. You'll regret this. You already do. That's why you're calling. Click. The next week, Jade came to my office with a folder. Financial review? No, she said. Your ex filed a complaint with the state about our hiring process. Anonymous tip. We good. Better. She submitted it under her real name. We both smiled. She's spiraling, she said. She's watching, I replied. That's all she has left. I gave Jade a bonus. She used it to buy her dad a new set of hearing aids. Didn't post about it. Didn't tell anyone but me. That's when I realized. I hadn't just replaced Danny in the office. I'd replaced her in every way that mattered. It was Jade's 3rd week on the job. She wasn't flashy. No fake confidence. Just sharp, observant, and efficient. The kind of person who didn't speak unless she had something that actually moved the conversation forward. Karen liked her. Legal trusted her. And I watched her quietly keep the whole office from falling apart twice in one afternoon when a back-end system crashed. She didn't panic. She solved. That day, I invited her to sit in on a strategy call with our investment team. I don't usually loop in new hires, I told her. But you see things others miss. She nodded, didn't thank me, just opened her notebook and asked for the investor packet before the meeting. We didn't flirt. There was no vibe to read. But she noticed things, like the half-eaten takeout on my desk or the fact that I never responded to calendar invites before 7 a.m. You sleep in, she joked once. I used to, before someone made me hate my house. She didn't laugh, just said, "You'll fix that. Not you should fix it. You'll." Later that week, we were prepping for a board presentation. She stayed late. I offered to buy dinner. We didn't leave the office. Sat at the break room table with sushi trays and bottled tea, pulling up charts and contracts on our laptops. Around 10 p.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Voicemail. I played it, half distracted. It was Danny. Her voice, low, measured. I saw the new assistant. She's cute. Smart, too, I bet. Just remember, she won't know you like I do. Jade caught the name. Raised an eyebrow. That your ex? Yeah. She still thinks she's part of your story? She's not even in the same book. Jade smirked. Want me to log the call as harassment? I blinked, then laughed. Nah, not yet. Let's see how jealous she gets. 3 days later, Danny showed up at the office. Didn't call. Didn't warn anyone. Marched straight to reception and asked to see me. Karen intercepted. I came out of the elevator to find Danny arguing with building security while Jade stood behind the desk, silent, arms crossed. You can't just show up here, I told her. You won't answer my texts. What else was I supposed to do? Not this. She looked at Jade, then back at me. Her? Really? She's what? 25. Does it matter? She doesn't know who you were before. That's the point. Danny flinched. Jade didn't say a word. She just turned and walked away, no drama. Later, when I came back into the office, Jade slid a small folder onto my desk. Inside, Danny's voicemail, transcribed. Logged. Timestamped. Categorized. No comment. Just the paper. She wasn't trying to prove anything. She was working. And Danny? She was still trying to matter. I didn't plan on making it public. But she forced my hand. It started when she posted a reel on Instagram. Danny. Looking polished. Studio lighting. Cropped hoodie and fake vulnerability. Title. Healing after betrayal. Caption. Sometimes the people you love most lie to you the longest. I thought I had a partner. Turns out, I had a project. Gaslighting is real. Ladies, don't ignore the signs. Over 100 likes in 10 minutes. Sympathy in the comments. You're so strong. He never deserved you. Thank you for speaking up. Then the private DMs started flooding in. From old mutual friends. Business contacts. Even an HR lead I hadn't spoken to in months. Everything okay? She's making serious claims. Is this going to affect your board seat? I didn't get angry. I uploaded a new folder to the original drive, the one I'd kept buried until now. Inside, her text to Travis. Hotel receipts. The credit card charges. Security cam clips. Screenshots of her trying to flirt her way into a job at my company after the cheating. I named the file Truth Optics and shared it with 3 key people. The podcast producer she was trying to book with. The recruiter who had reached out asking about toxicity allegations. Her new boyfriend's ex, who'd messaged me 2 weeks prior with screenshots of Danny hitting on him back when we were still married. By noon the next day, her reel was down. Comments disabled. She switched her account to private. But it was too late. People talk. Especially when they realize they've been manipulated. That evening, a professional acquaintance texted me. Just wanted to say, I was wrong about her. Glad you kept receipts. I replied. I never deleted a thing. That night, I met with the board of a nonprofit I sit on. They brought it up, awkwardly. I told them everything, no drama, just facts. She's not part of this story anymore. She's part of the reason I built what I did. That's all. They voted unanimously to keep me on. Later, I got a message request on Instagram. From Danny. Just 3 words. You win. Congrats. I didn't respond. I just opened our shared iCloud folder. Selected every remaining photo of us together. Hit delete. She wanted to be a victim. But you don't get to cheat, lie, and burn bridges. Then demand sympathy when someone else puts out the fire. It started small, Just a single tweet from someone I didn't even follow. When your ex tries to get you fired from the company she cheated her way out of. Cute. Within an hour, screenshots started flying. Jade, our newest hire, the one Danny dismissed as intern material when they crossed paths briefly months ago, had posted a thread. A thread that went viral. It included a redacted email from Danny to HR. I'd like to formally report a concern about your new employee, Jade. She seems overly close to the CEO and may be using that to advance unfairly. And Jade's response? Simple, confident, and vicious. I was hired because I'm smart. I stayed because I produce. And if being respected makes me a threat to women who used to sleep in his bed, maybe the bed wasn't the problem. The thread caught fire. Hundreds of retweets, quotes, comments from people in the industry. My inbox lit up, not with complaints, but support. You guys are building something real. Tired of watching toxic people play victim. Tell Jade she's got fans now. Danny, meanwhile, silent. Until she wasn't. She posted a story, shaky cam, bad lighting, half a sob away from unhinged. Some people lie and manipulate others just to feel powerful. I gave years to someone who faked his whole life. I didn't respond. I didn't have to. The comments turned against her immediately. You cheated, got exposed, and now you're mad he moved on? Didn't you try to get the new girl fired? Nobody owes you loyalty after betrayal. She deleted the story within the hour. Jade walked into my office the next morning holding a coffee. Didn't mean to set fire to the internet. You didn't set the fire. You just gave people a flashlight. Think she'll keep coming? Not for long. They always run when they're no longer being fed attention. She nodded, then paused. You okay with all of this? With you? Yeah. Good. She turned to leave, then turned back. Because I'm not here to be your revenge. You're not. You're the upgrade. That day, I signed the final papers. Divorce finalized. Settlement zeroed. Danny walked with a suitcase and the same energy she used to carry other men's names into hotel rooms. The last line in the court filing was poetic. Irretrievably broken, with no intention of reconciliation. Damn right. Danny showed up at the launch party. She wasn't invited. But she came anyway. Walked in wearing black like she was still part of something. Like she hadn't been locked out of the building that bore my name. The room froze for a moment when she entered. I didn't move. I was standing beside Jade, the woman Danny once called just your assistant. Jade had just finished giving the keynote. The one Danny used to say I'd never have the balls to step into. Now she was the face of our expansion division, the one I gave full equity to 6 weeks after the divorce finalized. Danny walked straight up to me. Can we talk? No. Please. Not here. She glanced at Jade. You replaced me with her? Jade raised an eyebrow. You replaced yourself. I stepped outside with her for 30 seconds. That's all I allowed. She tried a softer approach this time. I didn't know who you really were. You knew enough to cheat. I was scared. You didn't share anything with me. You acted like a failure. Because I needed to know what you do when you thought I was one. I made a mistake. No. You made a decision. Multiple ones. I handed her an envelope. Inside, a notarized statement confirming the last transfer of joint assets. Nothing left to fight over. No property. No leverage. No future. That's everything you'll ever get from me, I said. Don't call. Don't show up. Don't lie to people about what happened. She opened her mouth to argue. I cut her off. You cheated on a man who gave you the chance to prove who you were. You showed me. Loud and clear. I listened. So that's it. That's finally it. She left. Jade came outside after. You good. Better than ever. You handled that cleaner than I would have. I'm not here to humiliate her. No. I'm here to make sure she never forgets who she underestimated. That night, I went home and poured one drink. No toast. No music. Just me, the silence, and a new contract waiting on my desk. I signed it. Jade gets 25% on the next venture. Because loyalty earns more than rings. And betrayal? It earns exactly what Danny got. Nothing. She thought I was beneath her. So I let her walk over me. Then I turned the ground to concrete and watched her trip over everything she destroyed.